Hello and welcome to this video where we'll go into Introduction to Data Visualization course. So this is the start of a data visualization course where we'll work with exploratory data analysis, explanatory data analysis, data storytelling, building different types of dashboards, BI reports, and doing a lot of different coding examples and working with data processing a lot so that when you're working with code in Python, you can also version control it. But also in this course, we will go into Tableau, which is a graphical user interface for creating a dashboard so that you don't only work with coding, so that you can see large tools that are used in industry as well. Yes. So let's move on to the slides. So here I am in the keynote, creating effective data visualizations to support business to make data-driven decisions. So it's both technical, but it's also business-centric, so that you need to know how to communicate to the business in order to get your visuals to actually stand out so that the business stakeholders can use it to make data-driven decisions, because you don't just want to make visualization for visualization's sake. You actually want it to make an impact, right? Here we start with an example of a company that is collecting vast amount of data, and it's hard to get value from the data by just collecting it. We have company databases. It could be, I just use database as a simple term, but it could be data lakes, it could be data warehouse, it could be different types of databases or other type of cloud storage, etc. So there could be a lot of examples here. However, just think of it as we're placing a lot of data here. And then we have business stakeholders. So business stakeholders want to try to understand this data. So that is the main point. So we collect customer data, we collect marketing data, sales data, IoT data, we collect HR data, and the business stakeholders, they don't understand the data. So maybe they talk to the technical team and the technical team show that, yeah, here is the data. Okay, it's a lot of rows, maybe it's tens of millions of rows, and yeah, how can we understand it? Okay, so when they don't understand it, we're just collecting a lot of data. We're collecting more and more data because someone has told the company that, yes, data is the new gold. With data, we can do machine learning, AI, we can make data-driven decisions. However, if they don't understand the data, they will not drive any decisions at all. This will lead to something called data swamp. So all the data is just sinking, and it's hard to make a grasp of what the data means. And the more data you collect, the harder it will to understand the data if you don't analyze it. Analyze and clean it. So by analyzing and visualizing data, we can support data-driven decisions. So you have a lot of data, and you clean it and analyze it. And then you make different types of visualizations, BI report, dashboard. So BI stands for business intelligence. So based on these different types of visualizations, you can make data-driven decisions. Business stakeholders can make data-driven decisions based on the visualizations. So this is the idea. So as simple as you have data, you clean it, and then you visualize it in a certain way that makes business stakeholders understand them. And there are different types of data visualizations for different audiences. So we have exploratory data analysis, also called EDA. So this is to explore and understand the data. And then you have explanatory data analysis. So the more to the left, the more exploratory field we are in, and the more to the right, the more explanatory. So explanatory, it's more for business stakeholders, they will understand it, while exploratory, it's more for the data team. So here is the data teams. They need to explore the data to understand it, to find correlations, to find patterns, to know what to clean, etc., and what they can visualize. While explanatory data analysis, then you have already gone through a refining process, and the visualizations are quite clean, the message quite clear, and the business stakeholders, they can understand it directly. So explorative visualizations, closer to exploratory data analysis. So you make a lot of visualizations, to understand different types of variables, different types of attributes, different types of correlations, statistical analysis, etc. Come more into dashboard, where it's possible to drill down into different types of fields. Dashboard is also quite interesting because it can be more towards the exploratory, I would say, but it could also be more into explanatory, so that you could actually use dashboards to find insights and help drive decisions. However, it's more in the exploratory because you make it so that you have a lot of options, you have a lot of filters, you can do a lot of different drill downs possibilities to find different graphs and visuals that are interesting for you. Then you pick those visuals and move forward to make, for example, a BI report that you can send to business stakeholders. You pick one or a few visuals that you find quite meaningful and impactful, and you go through a data storytelling process to make it even clearer, make the message stronger and tailor-made to the business stakeholders or to your specific audience. So you have different type of visualizations, and it's for different audiences, right? So think these two terms are very important, that we have exploratory data analysis and explanatory data analysis. Keep those in mind. They will come back throughout the whole course. So example of exploratory versus explanatory data analysis we have here. This is typically exploratory. So this is kind of a starting visualization that you make that could be made like you see, it's very, very hard to understand, but you could see that, okay, the world percentage of, this is actually CO2 data, so you can see that there's a few countries that are taking a lot of CO2 while the others are quite low. And then it's divided into the top 10 countries which have most pollution. So you can see that it's still not very refined, but when you go through data storytelling process, you could make it more refined and tell a story. And then you go into the explanatory domain. So here, this is explanatory data analysis. You can see that, okay, we have clarified here 3 of the top emitters, and we have a title that is very descriptive. So the top 3 CO2 emitters in the world stand for more than 50% of the world's total CO2 emissions. So as you can see, this is more explanatory. You have picked out the story that you want to tell. You can see that by using color sparingly and contrast, we can get our story through. This is the type of data storytelling techniques that we'll go through in this course. And here's an example of dashboard applications that we'll make also. We have interactive applications to understand, analyze, and visualize data to find key insights. And this dashboard is created in Streamlit. You can see that a dashboard contains different parts. You could have description, you could have KPIs, like key performance indicators, which we'll also go into in this course. It's very important to pick out different types of metrics based on what type of things you want to measure. So these are called KPIs. Then you have different types of filters to drill down on your data and to find key insights. And here you have different type of visualizations. So these are basically dashboard application and what it could contain. A lot of dashboard applications looks very differently, of course, and that is the way it is, but this is just an example, and we will create similar dashboards. The focus of this data visualization course, very code heavy. We'll process data a lot using pandas. We will visualize it in matplotlib, and then use the plotly graphs in Streamlit. Use it, and these are BI as code, so business intelligence as code, and they are used for creating dashboard. And then also another dashboard application that we'll use is Tableau for a click-based one, so that you can familiarize with that. And then We'll use matplotlib for data storytelling concepts so that we can actually make presentations for our business stakeholder, so that we have explanatory data analysis. So we will cover both exploratory and explanatory data analysis in this course. So I hope that through this video you have seen an introduction to data visualization, what will be covered in this course, so that we have gone through some key concepts like exploratory data analysis, explanatory data analysis, and what differs from them, and what type of visualizations that different types of stakeholders or different type of audiences want to see. That data teams, they are more into exploratory, and then we go into explanatory, where it's more targeted towards different types of audiences, different types of business stakeholders, so that you get your messages through. And to do this, we need to go through several steps of data storytelling to refine our graphs. This is also a very important part, that a lot of analytics and visualizations often is done in the exploratory field, because that's where you work a lot of your time. However, note that the business stakeholders, they see the explanatory part, so that it's worth to focus more time on presentations and more time on data storytelling, as this is the ones that are impactful for your organization and your business. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope that you learned a lot, and see you in the next one. Bye.